Hello, and welcome back to Let's Get Lit. In this video, we'll be discussing Chapter 6 of Frankenstein. Now, the previous chapters plus the letters are up on YouTube for your viewing pleasure, so please, watch those first before getting into this one. That way you avoid spoiler territory. Alright, everyone ready? Awesome. Alright, so this is Chapter 6 of Frankenstein. This chapter starts out with a letter from Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth writes to Victor and says that she knows Henry's been taking care of Victor, that Victor has been sick and not feeling well. But she says that he needs to write her and his father because they are worried sick about him. She goes on to say that his father's doing well, she's doing well, the brothers are doing well. One brother is out exploring, one brother wants to join the army, but all is going well. She then talks about Justine. Now, in the book, she talks about the history of Justine, about how Justine was adopted by Victor and Elizabeth's aunt, how Justine was the third child of a marriage, and that when her father passed away, the mother couldn't keep up with the children, and she really neglected them. So, Victor and Elizabeth's aunt goes in and adopts her, brings her back to Geneva, and makes her a servant, which is a really good thing, because in that time period, in Geneva, they treated servants really well. They educated her, gave her love, gave her a family, and Justine was so grateful for this. Now, in the letter, Elizabeth says that Justine's aunt, or the aunt who adopted Justine, passed away. And the mother of Justine contacts her and asks her for her to go visit her mother. When she goes to her mother, she notices her mother is, well, not doing well. She's really sick. And so Justine nurses her mother, but her mother passes away. Once Justine's mother passes away, she decides that since the only family she has left is with the Frankensteins, that she's going to move back to Geneva. And of course, the family welcomes her back with open arms, where she's there to stay. Now, after Elizabeth writes about this, she pretty much finishes the letter by saying, there's a little gossip going around town, nothing really important, just chit-chat. And that's really the entire letter of Elizabeth. Now, after Victor reads this, he is super, super happy. I mean, he really starts feeling better because he's heard from his family. And after about 2 weeks, he is back to the man that he was. So, he decides that the first thing he's going to do is take Henry to the school and introduce him to the professors. The first professor that they visit is Monsieur Waldman. And Waldman is over the moon excited to see Victor again. He brags on him and starts saying all of these wonderful things, the experiments that they did, etc., etc. And Waldman starts to bring out the beakers and the science equipment. Now this starts to get Victor a little upset, not noticeably, but Victor's a little uncomfortable. So Henry, being the best friend that he is, quickly changes the subject. That way, Victor doesn't feel so bad and Henry doesn't have to deal with it. But they talk for a while, and it's all good. The next professor they visit is Kremper. And after a few minutes with Kremper, Victor realizes just how much he hated him and why he hated him. So, after this, Victor decides to go back with Henry and go back to school. And he basically becomes a student again. Now, him and Henry, they learn the languages, and they're so excited. Now, Victor didn't study the languages quite to the intent that Henry did, because Henry really loved them. But Victor, he kept up. And after 2 years of studying languages with Henry, he then decides that he's going to go back to Geneva. He's going to go home. It's time for him to go back to his family. But just about the time he was ready to go back, about late fall, winter came early, and this stopped him dead in his tracks. So he pretty much had to stay at Ingolstadt until the spring. Now, right before he left, Henry asks Victor if they could go on one last trip together. One last trip to explore Ingolstadt. And, well, Victor agrees. He keeps his end of the bargain. They have a wonderful time, a wonderful trip, and Victor is just so excited to go home. He's forgotten about his experiments. He is 100% the man he was before he stepped foot on the school grounds. And, well guys, this is the end of Chapter 6. So, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And be ready, because the next chapter is coming soon. Alright, Have a great one, and stay lit.